Hey everybody, Chris here. Dogecoin is holding ground. What do I mean about that? And what does it mean with Bitcoin, XRP, and others? We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. And I'll be live again Friday afternoon. So join in on the live stream. We kind of have a little fun. Try and have a little fun despite what's kind of going on in the markets right now. Let's unpeel it. Let's see if we can get into it. 8.7 cents for Dogecoin right now. And Bitcoin is back below 80K at 79.6 right now as we start. We'll check in on a couple other coins as well in this video. But if we zoom out, we look at what happened here. Right? Dogecoin went on the big run. Right? We had the huge run from 7 cents all the way up to 10 cents. Retraced back to our targeted fib extension line at 922, traded around that for a few days, and then it lost support and we came to this 8.6 level here. So 8.69 right now, we're right back at that level. We had a dip below here on Wednesday, and Thursday we spent most of the time above that level, but never really made any significant move. And now we're back at that same level. So that's how Dogecoin has traded. Bitcoin has been different. Bitcoin has moved up and has had a slightly higher high than what I called the top of the bull trap. That's right, a bull trap, because I still think prices are going down. I've been very consistent about that. Despite what others may say or what others are doing, I am consistent. And I say, let these things play out over time. We still have another week to go before I see lower prices. And so we have to let it play out. Now, things can always move faster than I predict. And we certainly had that when, I mean, even Bitcoin went on this big run. Bitcoin was trading down here earlier in August, all the way down at $62,000. Remember 62,000? You know, if Bitcoin was 62,000 now, you would probably be buying. Same with Doge at 7 cents. But that's not how things work. We are where we are now, and so we're trying to figure this market out and where it goes from here. Look, today we've got big news. We have Kevin Warsh, the new Fed chair. He's out at Jackson Hole. He's going to give his first Jackson Hole speech. Traditionally, we have seen these Jackson Hole speeches cause a little volatility in the markets. Now, at 10 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time, is early out there because he's out in Wyoming. So it's like, 8 a.m. He's going to be giving his speech, but he does that. It's been a tradition. Is he going to be hawkish? If we go hawkish, Bitcoin will probably drop down. If he's dovish, Bitcoin will go up. But if it's a bunch of word salad, right, he's going to chop in between. Good at word salad, and we already know this guy is good at word salad, and the way he speaks with this kind of up and down and anyway. So that'll be interesting to watch what happens with Mr. Warsh here. I'm expecting something between here. I think it'll be slightly hawkish. I don't know if we're going to go below 70K right away. Again, this plays out over time. So that's the big thing today. This week and obviously the end of the past week, with Bitcoin going up as it did, you get the FOMO, right? And the FOMO includes ETFs. And the ETFs, $3 billion over the last 9 days of inflows. Yes, the FOMO happens, it's real, and we get ETF inflows. This can always turn red. We've seen it before. If Bitcoin starts to go down, particularly after the war speech, there'll be some selling. It's also a Friday. We could also have selling in the ETFs for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin ETFs have actually, I think, helped prop up the Bitcoin price more than what would be expected. And we see that in the chart where Dogecoin has leveled out, but Bitcoin has moved up. And as Bitcoin moves up higher, we do see that difference in the price based on those ETFs. So kind of interesting. Now we got to watch out for a lot of influencers out there, because we've got our friend Crypto Rover here. So Crypto Rover, let me get this out of the way. Crypto Rover, there's now only a 13% chance Bitcoin will go back to 50K before 100K. The odds are heavily favoring 100K first. Mega bullish. So here's Crypto Rover, mega bullish. He's mega bullish. And that's typically how he is. So this was 7:05 a.m. 7:05 a.m. mega bullish. But wait, what's this? Wait, what's this? What's this? 7:17 a.m. So 12 minutes later, triple bearish divergence, bearish Bitcoin divergence. So wait, are you a bull or are you a bear? 12 minutes apart, and he's showing bearish move. And it's just like, wait, what are you talking about? So we can recreate that, right? We can go to the 4-hour chart here on Bitcoin. We've got our RSI already set up, and we can see that indeed, well, he is correct. Since the move up, we have seen higher highs right there. Higher highs on Bitcoin. And again, this is only over a little over a week, but yeah, so it's a shorter time frame, but higher highs. And we go down to the RSI here, and the RSI has actually gone down. So if this kind of thing can work in a bullish divergence, does it always work? Does it also work on a bearish divergence? We shall see. We shall see how this plays out. But that is a bearish divergence. Now, how often does it actually play out where once you see this kind of thing between the RSI and the price, does it play out as you expect? Maybe half the time. So, half the time. So maybe Rover's right? He's half bullish and half bearish. Because we don't know how they don't always play out like you expect them. And it's a short time frame. So again, I say, let these things play out. Let them play out here. So, yeah. So for Dogecoin, look, we got XRP, hyperliquid Doge, rekindling the momentum. So what is this article talking about? It says our XRP has slowed down. Right? And we can go to XRP and we can say, look, here's XRP at $1.41. Right? So XRP is doing the same thing as Dogecoin, right? We had the move down, we had a move up. The move up was sustained, so we can pull this out a bit. We can say, okay, the move up was sustained, but now XRP has actually fallen back into that initial move down. So XRP is kind of doing the same thing as Dogecoin. We can also say, look, let's turn on the supertrend, and let's turn off the RSI here, right? We want to get rid of that. So let's do that. Let's remove that. Let's turn on the supertrend. And let's go to the weekly. Because we look at these on a weekly time frame. And we can say, look, XRP flipped bullish on the supertrend. And this is the same thing as Ivan Tech's money line, right? Ivan on Tech. He calls this the money line. He's got his own for his bull mania. But you can do this on TradingView yourself. XRP already flipped bullish. But look at the big red candle. It's coming back down. And it has to come all the way back down to like 90 cents to flip back to bearish. And so he's got his whole bull mania built on this thing. It's like follow the flow. But he's not talking about XRP, right? He's talking about ETH, right? ETH flipped bullish, and ETH is actually showing strength this week as well. It's holding up pretty well. We got Solana. Solana looks like it's going to flip bullish. It is moving up in that direction with this green candle moving up. And of course, there's Hyperliquid that we look at. And on Hyperliquid, we're like, yeah, that's, it's been bullish for a long time. It flipped over bullish back here in May, and it's been bullish ever since. As it's seen new all-time highs, and even has moved higher than this now from 83, and it's moved all the way up to like 86 now on Hyperliquid. But anyway, there's XRP, and it looks like XRP could preserve its breakout structure and solidify the approximately 40% gain from the dollar area. But its support cluster is back down at $1.20 to $1.23, and which is what I called as well. The momentum is still high. RSI recently moved up. Overbought RSI does not necessarily indicate a reversal, but it does raise the likelihood of consolidation, especially following such a vertical advance. And this applies to across the altcoin spectrum, including Bitcoin as well. So we'll be watching that. I'm going to skip BNB for now. Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid breaks the stalemate. And of course, we know the momentum that Hyperliquid has had since May. It has been bullish. There's been a lot of money flowing through Hyperliquid. Its utility, it continues to run pretty well. And even the president called out Hyperliquid. And it's just like, so the pump is real on Hyperliquid and its new all-time highs. So that's awesome for Hyperliquid. But how about Dogecoin? Well, Dogecoin's back, right? Recovered significantly from its August lows. The rally has run straight into its most significant long-term technical barrier. After momentarily approaching 10 cents, Doge is currently trading around 8.7, and we see that's where it is. Again, after a move down, a move up. So a lot of the moving averages, it has crossed over. So it's crossed over a number of its moving averages, but there's still a big one up here. And just like Bitcoin has its big moving average, like 50-week moving average, right? A lot of people calling for, oh, it's Bitcoin, it's its 50-week moving average, it's time for Valhalla. We'll see how that plays out. Long-term moving average at 9.5 cents is still in place as resistance for Doge, which has been trading below it for months. And so any sustained move above, let's say go back over 10 cents, would indicate a much stronger reversal signal. And we talked yesterday about it, then targeting 11.5 cents, which back to its May highs would be the big move there. Overall, we can still say it's lower highs, just like Bitcoin. Short-term conditions significantly improved, 8.1, 7.9, 7.4. Doge moved past those levels, but those then become the targets on a retrace. So it is a multi-layered support structure. So after briefly entering a highly overbought territory, RSI has cooled. Momentum is still higher than it was during the previous consolidation. This lessens the immediate overheating. The next action largely dependent on the high side on 9.5, but on the low side, again, another test. Which Doge would be open to another test of 8.1 to 7.9. So, and that is what I was talking about on Wednesday, was when Dogecoin retraces, after it gets below 8.1, we would look for dips down into the upper sevens. Is it going to go back to the 6 cent range? I don't think so at this point because of this move. So be happy if you can get 7.9 cent Dogecoin again. That's where I am right now. So in contrast to Hyperliquid, Dogecoin's recovery is still technically sound. It has not yet broken through long-term resistance required to validate a more significant trend reversal. And our friend Ali, looking at this, also says, look, this appears to be a bullish flag on the hourly chart. And while the pattern still allows for a pullback towards the important 8.1 cent support, the key level to watch is 9 cents. An hourly close above that resistance could trigger a breakout to 11.5. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. He doesn't talk about below that though, and Dogecoin dipping back into the sevens possibly. And that's what we're going to be watching for the next week. Doge looks good so far off the low, has a lot of work to do still. So this is where we say, right, the ground for Doge on the big picture, does it really matter if you're buying in the 8s or the 7s? Because we've seen Dogecoin go on run after run after run after run after run. There's going to be another big run. Dogecoin does these patterns 3.5 years apart or so. It has been the history of Doge. So will we be seeing that next move up 3.5 years after the previous? that is the longer term target that I have, and I'll continue to talk about that into the fall as we look at potential price targets for the next move up. I'm not doing that now because I need confirmation that the bear market is over, which I'm not convinced of yet. So that's interesting. We will watch that. We'll watch that. But eventually, this is going to happen. And I like all the enthusiasm we see across crypto Twitter, especially from the Doge fam and the Doge front. And yeah, we break through that line, that downtrend line. We break through it, and then Doge could be on this run. I'm not convinced we're going to do that yet, though. So that is it. Until it holds above the line, the trend is down. Stay patient. The people who win are the ones who can still read the chart when it's quiet, which is why you guys have been with me all summer, for those that have, because we have been watching this play out. We've had dip buying opportunities. Now that we've had the big move up, where are the next dip buying opportunities? That's what we're going to look for. And I just don't think we're going to get back down to 6.8. 6.7, 6.7, remember that? I called the bottom, called it for Bitcoin, Dogecoin. Those were my price targets. Remember back on October 10th and the big flash crash and moved down and back up. We lived through that together. We had the recovery back, and then I called bear market. Remember that? And then I did my fibs back then, and I called the bear market bottoms. I can't make this up. This is what happened. Our friend Crypto Rover, again, does have price targets on the upside out there. Bitcoin up to 150K, ETH to 6K, Solana to 500, XRP to $5, and Doge 50 cents to $1. You know, those are bullish, but they're not outrageous price targets like many are calling for. You know, $100 XRP and $12, $15, $20,000 ETH, like those things. That would be awesome if it happened. I'm not expecting any of that. So we'll continue watching that. But remember, at the end, all it takes is one good day to make a year's worth. Most of the game is surviving long enough to see it. Choose your battles carefully. You don't need to win every day, right? Don't be so focused on the day-to-day like some people. It's like, oh, I bet it's going to do this today. It's like, awesome. Just take a step back. Look at the bigger picture. You need to be around when your day comes. Again, you need to be around when your day comes. That is the bigger picture. So the day could be a dip to buy more. The day could be the rip. Eventually, when you're going to start taking some profits, take some lifestyle chips. So that's where we are right now, my friends. Let me know how you feel about the market right now, and join in on the live stream later, because we're going to be following up what happened with Fed Chair Warsh. How the markets reacted to that. We're going to talk about that during the live stream on Friday afternoon. And Doge is hanging at 869. This is right where I said it would be when we turned back down from all of that huge bullish momentum, came down, and now we're trending sideways. Again, a little down, a little up. Those are short-term moves, and we're waiting for the big next move and what that's going to be. Give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.